Welcome to the easternslopes.com laboratory, where we regularly abuse equipment to find out what's right and what's wrong about it. We tend to do that behind closed doors, but today you're going to get lucky. You're not going to see anything that's abused. This is just simply to show you how one of our favorite products, the boot glove system from the DryGuy, works, how to put it in, and why it works. The boot glove is a neoprene piece that fits over the boot. We've used these for years, and we just basically don't leave home without them. They have a system called the Wicked Worm, and the Wicked Worm incorporates the boot glove, and then the thermo wraps. This is the thermo toe wrap, and then the thermo insole. And I've already sort of deconstructed this boot, and I'm going to show you how they work and how the whole process works to make it easier for you if you want to do it yourself. Now, first, just a little bit on why ski boots tend to be cold. It's one of the things people worry about, and the typical thing people do is they get thick socks. Thick socks, as soon as you start skiing, they start packing out, leaving you lots of room inside the boot so that your feet slide around, and you can't ski very well. So you need thin socks. And, of course, that thin, hard inner shell that goes, or inner liner that goes inside the shell, but it isn't very warm. So what's the solution? A couple of different things. First, when you look at a ski boot, there's a few things that lead to it being cold beyond the fact that you don't have a lot of insulation inside. The first thing is right here. They put this nice rubber, this is a couple year old, 2-3 year old Dalbello boot, and they put this little rubber thing here because there's a gap right there, and the wind, just as you're skiing down the hill, whistles up in there, moves right up through, and carries any warmth that's coming off your foot right up and out of your boot. And that opening continues all the way through here. This helps some, and it's a great thing to have that, but it still doesn't even come close to completing it, to completing keeping the wind out of your boot. Second thing is, the wind is hitting the front of your boot here, and very simply, it's conducting heat from the inside to the outside. And there's no barrier there to it except for whatever your liner and your socks are producing, which isn't much. And the third thing is, you have on the bottom of the boot, you got your boot down on a ski that's on the snow. It's very cold, so you get conductance through the bottom. So all that heat, any heat that's coming out of the bottom of your foot is also radiating down through. So the owners of, or inventors or whatever for DryGuy. Excuse me, this is the official stimulant of easternslopes.com coffee, although my partner Tim would argue that because his is tea, but either way it's caffeine. So anyway, the combination system here gives you a radiant barrier internally. Now, this is the insole, and keeps you from radiating heat out in those areas that we just talked about, the bottom of the sole and that front of the boot. And then this goes over and provides an overall insulation for the whole boot. So this thing comes, and it's about the size of Sasquatch. It's huge. You could put that into a boot for an NBA player, and it would be plenty big enough. You still have to cut it down. I've already cut mine down for one of these boots. And there's different ways to do it, and he'll, in the instructions, tell you can put it on the underside of the insole, variety of different things. I personally like to put it on the bottom of the liner. Reason is, you have a tendency sometimes to change insoles. You might go with a custom insole, you might go to a ski show and find something that an Instaprint or something like that aligns you better, that goes inside your liner. And if you put this on the underside, then you have to buy another one. The liner, unless you go with a custom foamed or something like that, will be part of your boot system forever, for as long as you own the boots. So that's what makes the most sense to me. So I just simply take this and do the usual routine. You put your insole down, and I'm not going to do it here because this is for the other foot, but just draw the outside of it. And these are very thin mylar pieces. So just a pair of basic shears and cut around your markings so that it matches up. And then before you do anything permanent, you take it, you put it down inside the liner, you get it flat, you feel around the edges to make sure that it's not rolling up to where it's going to cause problems when you put the insole in. And then you just pop this open, and this is an adhesive back material, and like all of them, and I probably should have been professional and pre-started this one so I wouldn't have to mess around with it, but they're a pain in the neck to get started. And so I'm awfully tempted in this case to not even do it. There it goes. Peel it off, and I tend to sort of roll it backwards. It'll unroll from itself. So if I do that and roll it back, I can get it down in and get the heel area set correctly, and then start rolling it forward. And you may find yourself doing it once or twice. The adhesive that it uses is tacky and does a nice job of staying in the boot, but it is not something where as soon as you put it down, you're stuck with it. So you can do what I just did, which is get it in there and realize that, well, I got it a little bit too far right, so now I'm just lifting it up and moving a little bit over. Make sure that the inside of your boot linings when you're doing this are relatively clean, that you don't have lint and things like that in there that will stick on the adhesive and make it hard to work with, and make you lose the adhesive before you try and move it again. And after a minute or so's work, that is now sealed nicely to the bottom of this liner. And you can see, I don't know if you can see or not, I can't really tell, but you can see the aluminum in there. And again, what that does is, if you don't know if you've used a space blanket, but space blanket is something where you get inside it and it reflects radiant heat back to your body. So that'll make a big difference in terms of the warmth. Now, the second part of this is the toe cap. And again, you got all that wind blowing against the toe, so you want to try and cover up that toe. And what you do is, these are hugely long. Take a strip and cut it so they can go over like this. Basically, just clip it off like that. And that came out to be just right. And the usual, again, the same routine, get the stupid material off. Yeah, this one's going to be a pain, isn't it? Be that way, see if I care. There it goes. No, it doesn't. Alright. Well. Hang on. Riveting video, I know, but at least see the function of the whole thing. And take that and wrap it right over the top of the toe box area. Just like that. And then, with the remaining piece, get that, and the same stupid routine. This one worked a little bit better at least. No, it didn't. I hate these things. Not anything anybody can do about them, it's just the nature of the material, but it's still a pain in the neck. And take that, and take it right around the front of that toe box, just like that. Now, I personally, and again, different ways of doing this, when I'm doing this, I make little cuts. So I'll take a clip here for the toe area, and put that down like that, and then I'll move those in, make a little clip here, and get those to stay, put that down, and I typically make one more cut right close here, just a small one, so that, and again, it depends on on how it's folding on here, and then just push it down. Put a hand inside so that you can get something solid too, and get it in. And before you actually use the thing, make sure it stays on there. And that's how you do these two. We'll work on I'll show you the boot glove in the next video.